KKHT wants you to meet the classiest guys in real estate.
This is Tim O'Neill, the icon of insurance.
I'm Chris Kelso, the Meister of Mortgage.
And I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate. And together we are
the Real Estate Rat Pack. Much like us, real estate in the greater Houston area is hot.
So whether you're buying, selling, owning, or insuring real estate in the greater Houston area,
you need to check us out as we are the preeminent source for everything you need to know.
And now, they're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now 1-800-808-5548. The Real Estate Rat Pack.
You know, we have a great group of ladies in the studio today.
Yeah, it's going to be like Red Day.
when does
It's
that ever
Red
happen
Day.
around here? A great group
It
of
is
ladies
Red
in the
Day
studio.
in the studio.
I hope you ask for some extra Kool-Aid for these powerful women we have today, because, you know, they are all from Keller Williams.
That is correct. You know, and Keller Williams does a great job of promoting real estate, great job of doing community service in this town, and all over the place, by the way. I mean, and we brought three of the greatest and brightest that we know of right now, but I'm sure you guys have a lot of other great teammates in your respective offices. But we're going to start off by talking about a lot of what's going on the west side of town today. We haven't talked about that in a little while, and it's one of those things that's near and dear to my heart. I live out in the Katy area, Katy, Richmond. You know, we talked with you, Claudia, all the way over to the Cypress area. And Crystal, you're going to be first up, by the way.
Okay,
How are
I'm
you
ready.
doing?
I'm good. Good
Crystal
morning.
Northcutt, and you're with Keller
that's
Williams
Premier
Premier
in Katy.
out in Katy.
I've been to your house, Chris. I thought that was El Paso.
No,
That's
Katy's
out there.
just a little bit west of Houston.
Right before you get to San Antonio.
It's right off Grand Parkway, not too far.
Well, you know, a lot of the tollway systems has made it very accessible, because I used to think Katy was like, oh my gosh, it's way out there. They put West Park in. I'm going, I'm there already. It's awesome.
Right.
West Park is great. I can get to the Galleria in 20 minutes.
If you
We
pick
know what your
time-
priorities are.
if you-
Yes, there you go.
If you pick your time of day.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, leave at 7 o'clock in the morning on the West Park Tollway, headed east, and you're not going to be there for, till 9 o'clock.
That's probably
So
correct.
it does not include the last 2 weeks of December.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So you're in the real estate industry. What brought you here?
I've been in real estate for about 19 years. Before that, I was in banking at Chase Bank, was in the financial and real estate department there. And when I decided to change careers, I went with real estate, and I absolutely love it. I actually moved out to the West End in Cinco Ranch in 97, so I've seen it grow tremendously.
You've seen a lot of changes out
I
there.
am. I'm a native Houstonian, actually graduated from Stratford High School, so I know this city pretty darn well.
Oh, yeah.
And when I moved out there, Grand Parkway was not even built. So to see it built, and now that it's going to be opening up all the way to I-45 in the next month, is just fantastic for the outer skirts of the greater metropolitan area, because that's where most of the good business is for real estate.
Yeah. What do you see happening in your marketplace out there? Because I know you got a lot of relo, and especially oil field relo. Are we seeing that taper off, or?
The last 3 years out there have been extremely great. Our home values have increased by a lot. It's at the point where it's slowing down a little bit, which we could never keep increasing at the rate we have been over the last 2 or 3 years. So it's going to, in my opinion, and after talking with Ted Jones Thursday at his speech, and he's the chief economist for Stewart Title, it's not going to be bad. It's not what everybody is so scared of happening out there, according to him, and I kind of feel that way too. I do see it slowing down a little bit, but our home values are not going to increase by that much, but I think they're going to hold
either,
steady.
yeah.
I don't think
Right.
they're going to decrease.
And that's what I'm hearing. But and you all hovered around two months supply of homes for a long time. 'Cause,
Correct.
Overall, in the MLS system, we had 2.6 for a very long time. We've gone up about 26% in overall. Again, of course, that's a broad brush for the whole industry. What are you seeing out in Acadia as far as months of inventory?
I think it's at around 3 right now.
That's still a seller's
which
market.
It's still a seller's market, yes.
And that's what I'm going to say, a slowdown, relatively speaking, right? A slowdown compared to the hypermarket
yeah.
that we were in.
Absolutely, that's what I
which
mean
is
by that.
still a
Yes.
great, I mean, one of the things I tell everybody is you look at it in Katy, it's still an extremely strong market. So if you compare it to the rest of the nation, we're still going to be one of the top 2 or 3 areas to be buying in as compared to everything else, because it's still very strong. Right?
Yes, I
and
agree.
they're usually in front of me on I-10 in the morning, by the way.
Yes.
I don't know where we're going to put everybody. We're hoping that 99 will help improve some of that congestion and relieve. But, I had somebody call me the other day, and they said, I cannot believe the traffic out here. That's the blessing and the curse of Houston. The blessing is we got all these people moving in from everywhere.
Yes.
And for every reason. And medical is our biggest industry now. So we're getting all that.
Right.
But, of course, we don't have any more roads to put them on. We just have more people to put on it.
Well, it's interesting you said that. One of my great friends used to live out in Katy. Doesn't anymore. Native Houstonian as well. So I used to come to Houston when I was a young kid, and you basically had, over there you had that one initial subdivision. I forget what the name of it was right back there, and then you had Cinco Ranch didn't exist. Nothing existed. Right.
Correct. That was probably Nottingham Country.
Nottingham Country. That was it. And you had that little speck of light when you were coming in on I-10, and you go, okay, we got the little town of Katy.
Yes.
And then we still have another 20 minutes to go till we get to Houston. And nowadays, when you come in, it's huge. It's booming. And then all the new stuff going on around Katy Mills. All the new stuff.
Oh my gosh, the new
there.
water park there. It is, and the new boardwalk they're going to put in is a big convention center. It is, it's booming. It's still booming. It's going to continue to boom, just probably at a slower pace. But all the commercial is coming in to meet all the demand of all the residential that's out there.
Oh yeah, and part of that water park, by the way, right next to it, they're also putting in a brand new, and I forget what the name of the company is. It's a brand new rock climbing center.
Oh,
so like
wow.
a professional rock climbing
Didn't know
center.
about
over there.
that
It's
one
pretty
yet.
cool.
It's always something new out there,
Yep.
West.
Yeah, my son
even
loves
Old
it.
Katy is starting to get benefit of some redevelopment, things out in that old area. There's
Yes.
a new subdivision out there. I have not.
Cane Island.
Cane Island.
Cane Island.
I understand it's spectacular. I have not made it out there yet.
Right, you've
Have
got
It
Cane
is.
Island, yeah.
Is it?
I went to the grand opening. It is absolutely beautiful. That's one of many new master planned communities west of 99 in Katy and north of Katy. It's great out there.
Let's talk a little bit about the affordability of that area because we get some of these new subdivisions. The entry level is $400,000 or $500,000. Of course, not everybody can handle $400,000 or $500,000. Is there still anything out there that people can buy around the 200 range or?
Yes,
Shaking her head.
probably not in Cane Island.
Well,
but
not in
there
Cane
are-
Island, but I'm
there
talking about
are-
Katy
There are
in
other
general,
ones.
yeah.
Oh yeah, but a new home, you're going to have to go north of I-10, and there are some neighborhoods up there that are being built and going to be built in the next couple of years. It's all the plans are out there, so you can do it. And there's plans for new high schools and junior highs coming in up there. It's just that's where the new stuff is going to be.
Amazing to watch all that.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
Got
I
to
would-
give a shout out here at some point to the number one high school football team in the whole U.S. of A. out that way.
Yes,
Somebody
Katy High
do
School
it.
has won how many? 7?
The Katy High School.
The Katy High School? Is it-
Tigers.
Katy Tigers. Okay, so my kids graduated from Cinco Ranch Cougars, but
So she wasn't going to bring that
yeah,
up,
I
but
wasn't
now
gonna
that you
bring that
mentioned
up.
it.
Now wait, I did graduate from Stratford when we won state champs. Though.
Yes.
There.
1979 was that?
1978 state
Hey,
champs. Yep.
Okay.
There
I
you
knew
go.
it was somewhere in the late 70s because they used to have it blazing across
And we
there.
played Katy and beat Katy.
Bump.
Wow.
That was a long time ago, though.
That is pretty much, well, and you are right, though. I mean, football is obviously very strong out in the Katy High School, but education and what we have in regards to ISD out there, you mentioned all the new schools coming on board. I mean, if you look at what you have from, Seven Lakes and Tompkins and the new middle school that's going in and Wood Creek and the Katy High School, and I mean, you name all of our education system out there in Katy. I mean, that's part of what's driving a lot of that individuals, no matter where you're from and industry you're in, to go out there because it's a premier institution as far as ISD. My children go to it, and it's phenomenal.
Yes, it is premier. That is one of the reasons that I moved out there in 1997 because of the education and wanted our kids to get that great education. And it will continue to be that great of an education. We are well known throughout the world. And because of that, our market out there is really powerful during the spring and summer months before school starts. And again, during the holidays before the new semester starts in January, you see a lot of buyers ready because they want to get their kids into KISD.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of education and shifting gears a little bit, is you were very involved with the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, correct?
I am. I'm on the Scholarship Administration Committee, and it is a fantastic committee, and we help with all the applications that come in. We verify them, and then we are there for the banquets. We are expecting over 5,000 applications that all have to come in online. The deadline's February 18th. We verify everything. They have to send in their SAT scores, their school record and all that stuff. All that's verified. And these students that get the scholarship get $18,000 a year, and some of them are the first kids in their family to ever go to college, and they would never get this opportunity without this scholarship.
And what's amazing is, I'm a huge Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and we participate this year. We're going to be, obviously, the cook-off, but most people look at all the fun that goes into it. They don't realize is it's truly there to raise money for education.
Absolutely, it is. We have so many ways of raising money and so many ways of giving back to these kids also.
And how many scholarships do y'all give out each year?
We gave out over 700 last year at $18,000 each.
Oh, my.
And so,
wow.
Amen.
Over the years of the rodeo, I think it's been around $13 million we've given away in scholarships.
13 million people.
No,
Or
$13 million over all the years.
Over all the
yes,
years.
over all the years, about $13
That's
million.
still a lot. I mean,
that
that's
is a lot.
A lot
Yeah.
right there.
And that's such a big lever. I mean, when you invest in young
Yep.
people's educations, that just
Correct.
blows up, hundredfold.
And that's
great.
just the scholarships. I mean, people participate in the art, in the livestock, and they get all their money from that also. I mean,
Right.
if you win grand champion, you can win thousands and thousands of dollars, and those kids get to use that for college. It's awesome.
Someday they'll need a Willow Bend mortgage.
There you go.
Big
and they'll
earnings
need some
and-
insurance
They'll need some
also.
State Farm
Well,
insurance.
Yeah,
I don't know
And they
anything
will
about that.
need a great agent to show them. where to go.
absolutely.
I love this job.
So, but you're right. You're right. And, education is the key. I grew up in Mexico most of my life, and I traveled around different countries, and the one thing that's always set the United States apart is the reason why we are such a great country and we are so prosperous is because of that education that we provide. A lot of first generation individuals that are graduating high school, that are graduating college. That's extremely important. I am a huge advocate of education, and I'm also a huge advocate of financial education, which is a different subject matter, but a huge advocate of education. And that I mean, the fact you're involved with that, the fact that we have such a strong output and input for money here in Houston is pretty remarkable.
Yes, it is. It's wonderful.
So what else is going on? What else you see? What's I know you sat down with Ted Jones after the Thursday
Yes.
meeting. By the way, I want a big shout out to Bill Napick for inviting us to that.
Thank you, Bill.
Sorry I couldn't make it, Bill.
Yes, Mr. Goodhair was not there either, but we will make sure that we get him later.
Is he Mr. Goodhair?
He's Mr. Goodhair.
Love it.
Here we go. Here we
Talking
go.
about Tim here with State Farms.
Yeah,
live.
Yeah, Mr. Goodhair. That's what you have termed him. Now that Bill has
Yeah, Bill started all
yeah,
that.
You
Bill
never know
started
what's going to
everything.
stick when somebody says
Yes.
something. You just
Yes,
never
but Mr. Goodhair over there was not able to be there. But there were some interesting numbers he came up with at I guess both when you were speaking with him and afterwards
Yes.
that were supporting some of the things you were saying. I mean, what were some of the things that were most interesting to you?
I did take some notes, and I took down notes of some wonderful comments that he made. One was that he expects a 3.8% home value increase in 2016. So,
Which kind of follows inflation.
correct, yes, and he's the chief economist for Stewart Title. So he knows his stuff, and he goes back on. Did you see what I said last year? And I was right on there.
He's pretty consistently
Yes,
accurate.
he
Yes.
did. Now, he did say that the homes between 100,000 and 500,000 are the ones that are really good right now and are going to be still doing good all this year, which normally that is the
case.
sweet spot there, yeah.
absolutely.
The one negative, he did say that homes over $1 million have decreased about 7%.
Right.
But over time, they're going to come back. It's just that the higher end market right now is just a little bit slower.
And I think
Yeah.
he said right around 700 that starts, 700,000 and up are going to probably suffer.
Right.
We already have like a 10-month supply of $700,000.
But as he also said, if you don't sell, you don't lose right now. So there's some other areas, not that you don't want to have a listing out there, but that's one of the things, you want to be careful of. So
I think Josh is indicating that he wants you to do something.
he was like, Chris, you got to be exiting in 30 seconds. So we're letting you guys all know what's going on in the back end right here. Crystal, how can we reach you, by the way?
My phone number is 713-962-0910, and my email is Crystal Northcutt with 2 T's at kw.com. Give me a call.
And
I'm
Crystal
around
is
24/7.
A great
almost.
agent out there in the Katy area, obviously with KW, which is Keller Williams Premier. She's not going anywhere. She'll be here for our last segment in the open mic, but we are going on a break right now, so
Gotta pay
stay
for the show.
tuned. We got to pay for the show. We'll be right back.
I can feel my my face when I'm with you. But I love it. But I love it.
Are you looking to finance a new home or refinance your existing home? Look no further. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage. Willow Bend Mortgage is a mortgage banker in the greater Houston area. In business since 1993, Willow Bend Mortgage offers a great array of products from FHA, VA, and USDA loans to conventional and jumbo loans, all with great rates and incredible service from Chris and his staff. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage today, 713-256-9138, or online at chriskelso.com. Again, that's 713-256-9138, or online at chriskelso.com. Available 24 hours a day. Great rates, exceptional service. That's Willow Bend Mortgage.
Protect your number one valued asset, your home. Want to know who home builders, commercial property, and real estate professionals call when they have a foundation issue? PermaPure Foundation Repair of Texas. You can access the same professional grade services the pros choose, all backed by a lifetime transferable warranty and over 15,000 successfully completed projects. Visit permapure.com. That's permapure.com to schedule your free evaluation today.
Throwback Saturday in the house.
That was a nice nostalgic visit.
Yes.
From about a year ago. I think Josh is just having fun with us.
I think he is right now.
Getting into the new year, things might wants to spice things up.
At Mr. Goodhair's expense.
At Mr. Goodhair's expense. So,
You're moving in the right direction in the hair department.
Yeah, exactly.
That is pretty good.
Well, go ahead.
You know, we have our next guest up, another great agent from KW Premier.
It's KW Day.
It is, and we said it's Red Day in the studio. Funny story. I was actually during the Christmas holidays. I was walking into the studio into a store, and I saw Susan, and she was there, and she was buying, and I didn't want to bother her at all. We were probably both doing the same thing, trying to get in and out as fast as possible.
Without anyone
there.
seeing you, right?
Yeah, without anyone seeing us, and we were both in the game store. So walked in, walked out, and I was like, I've been meaning to let her know about getting on the show. So I immediately texted her and said, hey, by the way, saw you in this store. I apologize about not saying hello, but I want to have you in the studio. And she's absolutely Chris. Let's get it going. So, Susan, welcome to the studio, by the way.
Thank you.
For all those who have never heard of you before, let us know a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay. I originally moved out to the Cinco Ranch area 21 years ago. My daughter was about 3 at the time. We wanted to get out there as soon as we could. I love the area, seen a lot of changes. And then just recently, 6 years ago, I decided to get into real estate. Until then, I was a stay-at-home mom and got involved with a lot of volunteering at school and have always wanted to get into real estate and have loved it ever since.
Well, you know, being a volunteer mom, being a mom is a full-time job. I get reminded of that all the time, by the way. I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old, and I want to tell my wife, thank you very much. But that's your involvement also allows you to know a lot of stuff about what's going on in the community.
Oh, yes.
You know, and it gets you to know that fabric of the community.
Definitely.
You know, talk a little bit of how that's impacted your role as a real estate agent.
Well, with me being involved with this, volunteering at school and everything, it's helped my career out a lot. I've met a lot of nice people out there. My husband tells me whenever we go anywhere, Susan, you see people that you know everywhere, and everybody knows you. So you made it kind of your little small town. So.
And that is really neat. You know, it's always like when you walk into somebody, you know, I walk into the HEB right there on Fry Road quite a bit, and then I see tons of clients that walk up, and you know, it's refreshing to know, you know, you have an impact on the community, you have an impact on individuals' lives, being involved obviously within the community as well, the education system and the educators you ended up seeing, and there's just some wonderful people.
It's a recurring theme for us because we talk about community a lot.
All the time.
A lot of people think of real estate people as people who go out and get their commission and walk away, but we are very ensconced in our communities. We give back to our communities. We're involved with the communities. We know the people. It's not just about selling real estate, because you do a lot of things. Probably you've already sold them something, yet they have other needs. They may want updated on information they want, what's going on with my house, what's coming down the pike, what should I be aware of. and it might be another 7 years before they sell that house, but you're going to be in contact.
Oh, yes.
I know Keller Williams. I know how they stay in touch because it's always amazes me because you've had like a 6-month relationship with somebody, maybe finding the house, and then a lot of people just say, "Well, we're sold. Now I'm moving on," and they never hear from their agent again.
Yeah, that's an important thing is just to keep in contact with my people. I do.
Yeah, because you like them. You become friends. Some of my best friends I start off as known as real estate.
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, I want to go back when I introduced Susan. I forgot to let everybody know her last name, which is Susan Huston, by the way.
I think that's
that way, if they're sitting there right now and they're trying to figure out which Susan we have on.
Yeah, and that's with a T.
That is right. Hutson.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
And I've also been involved in marathoning. I run marathons, and I'm part of the running groups and things like that. And that's another thing that I like to do. I've helped with KSR. It's a training program for Katy students in the Katy High School, Morton Ranch.
Right.
Training for them to run in the half marathon. And I've done that a couple of years out there in Katy too. So
that is really neat.
It's a really good program.
Absolutely. We do have a caller in right now. And so we have Jennifer calling in. Jennifer, thank you for calling in the show. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
So I know you have a great question for us.
Yes, I used to live right next to Cinco Ranch High School, and I've moved out of the area about 3 years ago. And I was just wondering, with the new Exploration Park going in, how do they expect the prices of homes to be impacted right around the Cinco Ranch High School area?
Well, I think that that park's going to be absolutely awesome. There's going to be running trails, there's going to be lakes, and there's going to be you can kayak on the lakes there. They're going to have a pavilion, and I think it's just going to really do wonderful things for the homes in that area, especially the ones that have been backed up to the Grand Parkway, because that's going to kind of cut down on the noise in their backyard. So I think it's just going to be wonderful.
Yeah,
well, that sounds great. Hope there's some homes left for sale when they finish it.
we know somebody you can call to find out.
Yes, for sure.
That's right. Okay, I'll call Susan.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. We appreciate the phone call.
Okay, bye.
That's a really, really neat question she had right there, because the longest time when I was driving down 99, I used to always see that big swath of land right behind the Cinco Ranch High School. And the problem is a little landlocked, right? Because you had Cinco Ranch and all the homes. You had the high school, but you had no way to really access it because there was no access road right there. And then if you notice, they started building the new parking lot that goes into it right there. Next thing you know, they announced Exploration Park. I think it's going to be a huge bonus because we really don't have anything like that.
It's going to be great. And I didn't realize there's going to be like 270 some parking spaces there.
Oh, yeah.
And, it just doesn't seem like it's that big. It's 32 acres. And it doesn't look that big. But
no, not from 99.
Yeah, but it's going to be great. I'm really excited about it because I like to run, and I think it's just going to be a really great park.
How's that park being financed?
That's a good question.
That's why I asked it.
Yes.
It's part of Willow Fork.
Yes, I think it's like the
Willow Fork drainage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because it says Willow Fork Development. Or something on there. That's true.
A case of we can't put any more buildings on here because of how it creates issues with absorption, water absorption,
what about
things like that.
Right?
So they said you have to do something to mitigate some of the drainage issues. So was it created for that?
I have I have not done my background research on how.
Well, I want you to come back next week prepared.
Now
for
that
me.
you have challenged Susan, myself, and Crystal, and
That's
Claudia,
right.
we will know next week how that went on.
We'll sponsor it, and it will be Rat Pat Park. How about that?
That could work.
There you go.
No, that's not bad at all. But no, it's
thinking
really
over here.
neat
It's not just the hair. I got something underneath all this hair.
Well, some of the issue, of course, it doesn't happen. I don't think it happens that much out in Katy, but flooding is going to be such an issue in and around all of Harris County and Fort Bend County. Engineers are starting to relook at impact of development, and they have a formula, but it doesn't always work when you get these like what they call 500-year floods.
Right.
They didn't engineer for that. They might have done it for a 100-year flood, and so I think you're going to start seeing them set aside parcels like that. Like, we're not going to develop this. We need some ability to take extra water and do something with it. And so I think
if they want to continue always to build slab on grade, then that's, unless you want to elevate the houses 2 or 3 feet, and it's a whole different architectural look if the houses are all built up on pilings.
That's a whole other show, by the way.
Well, that's why you look at something like that's why you look at something like Cinco Ranch. Cinco Ranch is the largest master plan community in the United States. It's absolutely huge, especially when they added in Cinco Ranch West, which is the new section that they're building on over there.
So it's larger than the Woodlands?
Yes, it is. It's absolutely huge. It's absolutely well, I think with that addition of what they did on Cinco Ranch West. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that, if you notice, though, within Cinco Ranch, very similar to what the Woodlands has, is it is filled with different parks. It's filled with different lakes. I mean, it has a whole bunch of amenities, natural amenities, to try and mitigate some of those issues, because it used to be just land.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the beach club itself and the lake there. And
right.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great community. I've lived out there, like I said, 21 years, and I've lived in 2 homes in Cinco Ranch. So
right. So and what's pretty amazing is you still see it today. You still look at things every once in a while. It's like, wow, I didn't realize that was there. I mean, there are little things that happen when you're driving around, and you don't realize it's
and
there.
Just see them pop up. Yeah, definitely.
So, and I guess what was, you were also obviously with Dr. Ted Jones. What are some of the things that were interesting to you in regards to his speech?
He brought up the fact that the plastic, what was it? The plastic industry, and how that's going to help too. Along the Gulf.
Well, yeah, what he was talking about, which I thought was fascinating, I didn't realize this. He said, but we were talking about oil and gas. He was talking about the natural gas that we have, obviously our natural gas, and what's used to produce plastic, and I don't want to misinterpret anything, but he said that there was something like 18 to 21 new plastic companies going on along the coast. Obviously, a lot of them on the outskirts of Houston. We're going to be one of the major exporters of plastic products within the next 10 years.
They talk about the petrochemical, and that's that's what plastics are in that category of petrochemical, and it's not just plastics. I mean, look, the application of fossil fuels is well beyond just gasoline. And of course,
manufacturing in general. I mean, as the cost of electricity goes down, manufacturing will explode in this country, because that's been one of the barriers to manufacturing here in heavy industries, because power has been more expensive in the recent past, but now we have a totally new trend to look forward to.
Well, and a lot of that also has to do with, he talked about 2016, Texas as being one of the top states for tax climates for businesses. So the other thing about that is that a lot of businesses are coming to Texas because of how friendly we are.
Yes.
He said the ones that are ahead of us,
right, yeah.
He said the 2 that are ahead of us, you really wouldn't want to move to. He said South Dakota, and what was the other one? Wyoming. He goes, who wants to live that cold?
Yeah.
No.
And they go together, taxes and torts, because we reformed both, and we have a very good climate with regard to tax and
torts,
and tort reform.
Yeah, it's a very business friendly environment. They actually did a comparison one time of starting a business here and starting in like Cleveland. And it took 1 day to open it up in Houston. It took 18 months to open the same business up in Cleveland. Yeah. So you get too much regulation. I believe in regulation. I just don't believe in overregulation.
You see a lot of an anecdotal example of that. You see a lot of new Carl's Jr. It's a hamburger place opening here. They're huge in California, have been for decades.
Right.
And they just have found it too expensive and cumbersome to open a new store out there. They can come here and they can open 12 stores here.
The price
it takes
of one
them
over
to
there.
open one out there.
Yeah.
So they have literally just said, well, that's enough of that, and they're coming here. So
how do we get a hold of you?
My website is sellinghomesandkaty.com, and my telephone number is 713-294-1686.
And I think we need to take a break.
I think we're going to be taking a break. That is Susan Huston, by the way, with KW Premier. We have to take a break, but stay tuned. We'll be right back.
And a long night there, and these long, long legs are damn near everywhere. Hold up now, you look good, I will not lie. But if you ask where I'm staying tonight, I gotta be like, oh, baby, no, baby.
But Joe, how exactly does that State Farm jingle work?
Come on, Chris, it just does. You sing it and your agent appears.
But how?
Man, it just does. I mean, how does a microwave work? You put something in it, you hit a button and it cooks. Okay, accept it. Microwaves make your food hot, and the State Farm jingle makes your agent appear. You just sing that jingle and it's like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and all of a sudden Tim appears.
Oh, hey, Joe.
Oh, dang it. See, Chris, you made me make Tim appear. I didn't need you, Tim. I'm sorry.
We're making a commercial.
Man, we are just like it's a wild universe out there, and we're but one grain of sand on the cosmic beach.
Oh, man. You lost me at the end there again.
Sorry.
In reality, a State Farm agent means knowing a real person like Tim O'Neill in Houston has your back. Call Tim today at 281-358-4444.
Are you looking to finance a new home or refinance your existing home? Look no further. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage. Willow Bend Mortgage is a mortgage banker in the greater Houston area. In business since 1993, Willow Bend Mortgage offers a great array of products from FHA, VA, and USDA loans to conventional and jumbo loans, all with great rates and incredible service from Chris and his staff. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage today, 713-256-9138, or online at chriskelso.com. Again, that's 713-256-9138 or online at chriskelso.com. Available 24 hours a day. Great rates, exceptional service. That's Willow Bend Mortgage.
Fireball.
Tim and I will need a.
And we're back.
Barely.
Absolutely. I was just sitting there talking about
with some fire.
Chris over there. We
The
might
maestro of
tell the
mumbles.
public that we actually were on a bus trip yesterday, and of course Chris Kelso is always our amazing host on that bus, and he gets up and he talks and he sings on
sing a
occasion,
lot, that is
and
correct.
so you did that for
And
a full
dance a
day,
lot.
and you did start out with that great a voice, and so now we're about to lose it, so we're going to be respectful of that.
Well, good thing is I do know by tomorrow I'll probably lose it a little bit.
Yeah, we don't count.
But Monday is the holiday, so I can relax one more day before we.
Yeah, well, it's a holiday for you, but it's not for us.
That is true.
Anyhow, so I'm really excited. Actually, I talked to this young woman, oh gosh, about a year or so ago about coming on the show, and I said, you know what? I'm going to pick up the phone and ask her again. This is Claudia Price from Keller Williams Greater Northwest. Welcome to the show.
Yay.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yes.
I don't think it was until she saw me, though, dressed up as an elf that she felt comfortable, though.
Yes. Well, hey, we got to grab people's attention any way that we can.
That is true.
So talk a little about it. You've been in the business for a while. Talk about, when you got in the business, how you got in the business, and maybe even answer why you got in the business. What were you thinking?
Well, I started in the mortgage industry, and then in 2008, when it went down, I got out of it, and I was living in the Heights area and had moved to the Cypress area. So the house we were leasing, we actually were trying to buy it until we got that knock on the door that said your house has just been foreclosed on.
Oh my!
Oh wow!
Yeah. And so that's how I got into business. The person who came over. Stacy Sutter came in and said, well, no, you're going to have to move out. Well, it turned out we ended up staying in the home. We ended up buying that home. And while Stacy was doing his BPOs, I just said, hey, I'm looking for something to do. And said, I need a buyer's agent. I'm like, what's a buyer's agent? And so that's how I got into it. He interviewed me a couple of times. And the day he called me to say, hey, I want you to start real estate school. My mom had passed away that morning, so I said,
timing wasn't exactly perfect.
No, it wasn't. And so he said, so I said, I'll hire someone else. And he said, no, I want you. Take 3 weeks, 3 months. I'll wait. And so it took about 6 months because it was all of a sudden. So we had all these probate issues and whatnot. So 6 months later, he called and said, are you ready to go to real estate school? I said, absolutely.
And of course, Stacy's a great guy. Of course, he's
a
with
great guy.
Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Anderson Properties, but
yes.
That's okay.
He used to be part of Red Day.
He used to be part of the Keller Williams premier over there. And so, but,
yes.
He recognizes talent, and he's a take no prisoners kind of guy.
Right.
So if he saw something in you, it's there. It's that fire in the belly type of thing. So he's really, when he's putting together a team, it's kind of like his way or the highway.
Well, great time
absolutely.
great time to tell Stacy, thank you very much for bringing in one of the great professionals in our industry.
No kidding, because she has knocked it out of the park.
Yep.
For several years, and you actually were with Signature for a period of time, the Keller Williams office there. No,
yeah, I started off with Premier,
right?
But I've been a Keller Williams agent.
Okay, it was at Premier. I was once again mistaken. I should do better research, right?
No, it was Premier Signature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Greater Northwest.
Oh, I know.
Okay. I did get that right then. Okay.
You're a realtor
But I've
on
always
the
been
other
at Keller
side.
Williams.
Yes.
If you're the realtor on the other side of one of Claudia's transactions, I'm just telling you now, you better bring it, and you better know what
And
you're
you
talking
better
about.
close it too, by God.
Because you will be exposed if you are any kind of a lightweight. Forget it.
Yeah, that's Claudia's really well known for taking care of her clients and fighting for her clients. And anecdotally, told me a little story. And we won't go through the whole story,
No.
but basically, it looked like something was going to go south. And she got on the phone and basically said, "This thing is not going south, and I expect to see your clients there today."
And they showed up.
And they showed up
With a smile.
So, you scared them. Scared them. So you work the Cypress market also, and you work Katy. So what are you seeing in the marketplace right now?
Well, I live out in the Cypress area, and that I've been out there for about 10 years now. So the growth out there is just, I mean, it's amazing to see all these new developments. You have lots of new builders coming in, a lot of communities coming in. And Bridgeland, for instance, they're finally building out. You have that education park coming. You got new schools out there. I mean, there's just such a big growth.
And you got all the shopping going on right now. I mean, everyone's, I think, at that outlet center out there in Cypress all the time. When I pass by it, I don't think that you can ever find a parking spot because it's so packed. I mean, but that's been a huge boon to the area.
The areas like what I used to call affectionately Farfield, not that far anymore.
No.
It's kind of gotten close in. You get out to that Mischke Road area and things like that, where we actually have a fairly new Capitol title that's located out there.
Right.
It used to be like forever to get out there, and now it's like, oh, that's part of in town almost. But you do have one issue: 290.
Yeah.
Is it going to be really?
Buzzkill.
Yeah, they are supposed to be building that along the Hempstead Highway, that toll system. That you think that'll alleviate a lot of that congestion, or it's hard to say.
I mean, I think it will for sure. But I mean, you got to remember, there's so many people moving to Houston every single day. So I'm hoping to alleviate some of it, but I think that, it's still going to be pretty busy.
But, even with 290, though, you've got so many things that are, I mean, you now got 99 that can cross over. By next month, you'll have 99 that can cross up to the Woodlands. You can take 290 down. You have a lot of the side roads that you can get. It's really amazing to see. I mean, a lot of people try to go to 290 because it's the straightest way, but there's a lot of ways to avoid 290 and still get to places pretty fast. I mean, I know whatever hours a day it is. When somebody calls me up there, I have to be over there off of Muschke or, down by Bridgeland. I take back roads all the time.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And I always thought someone ought to come out with a book, Creative Houston Driving.
Right.
What parking lots to cross through, and what back roads to take and things like that might be a big boon, especially for newcomers coming in. But you can get around in town, and again, I always pick my time, which I have the flexibility that I can do that, but not everybody does.
Oh yeah.
No.
After 2:30, I know I'm not getting on there. Right. I'm going to show something. In
Okay,
town.
I'm gonna have to. I'm sorry, I can't make it.
I have to admit, there's some hours, no matter what hour it is, I'm like 290. I'm taking an alternate route because I mean it's always, especially right now, you have portions of it under construction. So it does. You never know when they're going to be, taking something down to two lanes, let's say, because they've got to move out a little bit and doing some construction that day. But everything going out in Cypress right now. I mean, you're just seeing just very similar to what Katy is. You're seeing a huge amount of development going on. Obviously, from Coles Crossing all the way out, Fairfield, as you talked about, some of the new stuff going even further out. And it's a lot of what's really neat is I see this more than anything out in Cypress, a lot of that crossover from like country living where people want to have a horse in their backyard and a barn. You still see a lot of that, and it's pretty prevalent out there.
I get a lot of clients still looking for country acreage, that still want to bring horses,
right.
And no restrictions, but there's just not a lot of that. Well, one side of 290, you can still have them. It's the other side.
You get out to that Hockley area and things like
Yeah.
that. There's a lot of still farm and ranch being sold out there.
Right.
I guess this is the time to go out and get it before it becomes, city again, because it used to be, I could say, when Fairfield was first built, I was going, oh my gosh.
Yeah. But all the developments between Cypress and Tomball, there's just so many new communities.
Well, I rode my new Harley out to Tomball the other day. Of course, they got a toll road now. 249 is all toll road. You can just bypass everything. It was like, wow. Tomball, which used to be country, city.
Yeah,
it's just amazing to see.
Yeah, Magnolia, same thing. You see a lot of new communities.
And
going out
what's
there.
neat though is some of the older towns are now starting to get redeveloped again. You look at Magnolia, you look at Tomball, mentioned those two. We talked about Katy, for example. The old towns, I love seeing this as they're getting surrounded by the newer subdivisions and the newer developments. They're starting to bring people back in, and you're starting to see the combination of these older towns that have some established businesses with some new businesses going on. And it's really neat. You mentioned you're riding your bike, but it's really neat when you drive through some of these towns now and you see some of those new developments. More importantly, you see small businesses coming back into the community. And that's always a lot of fun.
That's what a rising tide lifts all boats.
That's exactly
We have
right.
a rising tide in here, and it's not like this. It's not like this everywhere. You know, so I think we all need to be appreciative of the atmosphere we have here and people moving here. We have a vibrant population growth, and we have a vibrant economy, and it's not like this everywhere.
I think it's a good thing when you have that. You also get people who can live and work and not have to commute,
Right?
Because you got a lot of businesses happening out there in those areas, and I always love seeing that because that kind of makes sense to me. It's like if everybody's living way out, and then everyone's driving in the city, that makes zero sense. But it makes sense if you've got a vibrant economy out in Katy, you got a vibrant economy in Cypress, and it's almost self-sustaining.
Now, Claudia, you came from the mortgage industry as well as you as well, Crystal. But Claudia, coming from the mortgage industry, we've had a lot of changes, obviously, since October 3rd. What do you think about a lot of those changes? I mean, do you like them? Do you not like them? What are some of your thoughts on it? From a real estate perspective, how it's potentially either impacted positively or negatively?
there's going to be changes, and I mean, they're done for great purposes. I think with the whole 3-day, if something is wrong on the closing statement, people were getting scared, and because maybe they're trying to sell another home, and now they have to wait for the buyer another 3 days, and so that right there, I think where it gets kind of scary. But it puts the agents, the title, the lenders in check. They better know. They better have everything correct and know what they're doing. Because I think a lot of the changes were happening at the closing table.
Yeah, and that's really unfortunate. But I think most real estate agents love the fact that they can have all that information 3 days in advance. Of course, some of the issues that I've seen happen is that we have a form, of course, that basically says we can see the buyer side of the settlement, but there are some title companies that aren't recognizing that. So it's really hard to do our job if we can't actually be able to review documents. And so that I think there needs to be some tweaking of CFPB. I don't think it's going to go away, but I think some of the changes were positive.
I think so.
And especially from agent, because how many times did you walk into a closing and you still hadn't gotten a HUD-1?
A minute
Many
before,
times.
yeah.
And then you find out it's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I've been at a title where I was there, more 3, 4, 5 hours sometimes because you go send it back to the lender and you're basically online for them to work on that file. So
and actually, what maybe decide never to use. Well, I'm not going to throw mortgage brokers under the bus, but mortgage bankers, they're doing their own underwriting. Right. And if there's an issue at a closing, they can redraft documents like that. You do some other entities. They can't, so you might be waiting, a whole day or maybe 2 days to get that thing turned around. So I like to have it 3 days in advance. That's the really good positive thing about that.
I would agree. I would absolutely agree.
So,
how can we reach you if you don't mind?
My website address is therightpricematters.com.
Oh, I like that.
And my number is 832-377-9256.
And that is the amazing Claudia Price.
The amazing
Keller Williams, Greater Northwest.
Out there with Danny, our man Danny.
Danny Frank, yes.
Yep. Good friend of the Real Estate Rat Pack radio show there.
He was on our premiere show, actually.
That is correct.
He needs to bring us some barbecue.
Yeah, he needs to bring us some Killen's barbecue next time he comes.
That is true.
Danny, we need some barbecue up in here.
Danny, we need some barbecue. It's a big shout out to you, bud. Anyways, we still have one more segment to go. It's an open mic. We're going to have all these ladies back. We're going to be talking about a lot of different subject matters. But before we do so, we have one more time to thank all of our sponsors. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Big wheels keep on turning, carry me home to smack you, singing songs about the Southland.
Protect your number one valued asset, your home. Want to know who home builders, commercial property, and real estate professionals call when they have a foundation issue? PermaPure Foundation Repair of Texas. You can access the same professional-grade services the pros choose, all backed by a lifetime transferable warranty and over 15,000 successfully completed projects. Visit PermaPure.com. That's PermaPure.com to schedule your free evaluation today.
Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties, the fastest growing real estate company in Houston. Over 400 trained professional realtors here to serve your needs in 21 locations in Houston and across the state. Whether you're buying, selling, or leasing, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties is the smart choice. Check us out at andersonprops.com today. Find out why so many choose Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties for all of their real estate needs. You know us, we know real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
And I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsack, the king of credit swing. And together, we're the Real Estate Rat Pack. You know, when the jet is landing and we're coming home from a long trip to Vegas, the only car the Rat Pack wants to see on the tarmac is a beautiful stretch limo from Dimensions by Dan. Their cars are really gorgeous, but it's the over-the-top customer service that the Rat Pack really loves. So no matter what your occasion, give them a call at 281-590-1101. Ask them about the Rat Pack special, and Dan's really going to take good care of you. That's 281-590-1101, Dimensions by Dan.
Rob, I can't feel my face when I'm with you, buddy.
I know you like that song.
Mr. Good Hair, I don't feel my face ever. Don't worry about
Okay,
it.
man. I'm feeling it, man.
You know what I'm really interested in, because everyone has a different perspective on what 2016 is going to look like. So I'd like to open up to what everyone thinks about what their business and their world's going to look like in 2016.
You know, before we do that, I want to bring up one thing that Dr. Ted Jones said, that we have more jobs right now in Houston than any other point in our history, any other time. That was pretty amazing numbers when we were sitting there listening to that presentation. You know, it talks about the seasonally adjusted jobs. Last year, even though oil and gas prices have gone way down and we worry about that, we actually had a net increase in jobs overall, and we have more jobs than ever in our history. Pretty neat stuff to start off with, right there.
Really, and again, of course, a lot of it's being established in the health and medical arena. You know, it's interesting that we were right around Dayton yesterday, coming back, saw $1.49 for gas.
Yeah,
$1.49, $1.49.9. And I was thinking, wow, we're back to 2003 numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
one thing that Ted Jones had commented about was that the hospitality industry and the medical industry is very strong here. So, you know, it kind of counteracts the oil that's lost a lot of jobs.
Well,
the
good
just
news
not
for
an oil state.
good news for health and industry. Yes, boomers, we're getting old, getting sick.
Oh yeah.
So that's good business, you know. So
right.
all you boomers out there got them.
Class 62 here in 1962, baby.
You talk about the boomers, though?
He talked about the millenniums, and he said that the 18 to 30-year-olds are the biggest group coming up,
right?
And that they are putting off getting married to save and buy a home. So good for them. It's a good investment. It's something you'll have for the rest of your life, and you can make money on it.
Yeah, it's really interesting because we have somebody else, Rob Hahn, who we've had on, who's kind of a futurist, and talked about the renter generation. Because some of the millennials are coming out of college encumbered with high debt because of student loans, and they're putting it off because of that. So you've kind of got a mixed message here to, what the younger generation is going to do. But I do know that's a fact, and especially it might impact Katie in the future, and this is something Rob Hahn had brought up, is that they're waiting longer to get married, so they're waiting longer to have children. And so all of a sudden you have these homes out in Katy that are 4, 5, and 6 bedrooms, there won't be a need for that, because if you wait until you're 40 or 38 to 40, you're not going to have 4 kids or 6 kids, as some people we know.
But one of
Claudia
the
Price.
things, one of the things that Dr. Jones said, though, he said, which is pretty interesting. He said the millennials are now finally starting to get the jobs, though, to be able to afford the larger homes. He said also, I think it was something like 74 million boomers who would be, he said, face it, we're all going to die. And he was pretty blunt about it as far as that goes.
Well,
he
he's a
said,
pretty blunt guy, yeah.
But we've got 92 million millennials that are following that baby boomer generation right now. So he said the amount of new people, and they're now getting the jobs. They're now getting the $80,000 jobs plus. And guess what? While they are starting later in life, that doesn't mean they're having less children.
I think they're being very responsible, actually. I think we got a generation that, I'm very encouraged by the new generation coming. They're responsible. They're not actually going to be going for their bigger house. They're more interested in lifestyle. And we talked a lot about on the show that we don't really sell houses. We do sell lifestyle, or we sell security, or we sell education. But it's that's just the conduit. Is the home is the conduit for that goal. But I think they're going to be smart. I don't think they're going to go get the big houses, and I don't think they're going to go out and do the same things that the boomers have done. So it's going to be a different kind of market.
Yeah, well, I hope they're aware of we still have the sub 4% mortgages that you can lock in for 30 years.
They don't even. They don't
millennials need to be understanding that this is not going to last forever, because back in our day, right, boomers 6% and great mortgage.
Crystal can remember back when we got to probably around 1990, and it might have just been a little bit before you got in there, but. When we just come out of the 80s where we were selling houses at 18%, we got to 10%. And like early 1990, we thought we all had died and gone to heaven. Oh, my God, it's 10%. And now you hear somebody slip up a quarter of a point, they go into a panic.
Right.
Oh, my
Chris,
gosh.
you want to say something about those rates before we have to change your IV?
Yeah, exactly, right? Well, what's amazing is the other day we had, about a month ago, we had the Fed raise rates by a quarter. And everyone freaked out. And the market went up a little bit, and now it's actually down lower to prior to them going up a quarter point. Rates are still at an all-time low. Are they going to go up? They're absolutely going to go up. But let me tell you, as you got through mentioning, I remember when rates were at 5 and 6 and 7 and 8%. It doesn't stop people from buying homes. I try to take advantage right now.
Sure, lock it.
But the only thing that ends up happening is as rates go up, people adjust. And that's the way life goes. I mean, I've seen people. Obviously, being in the business for 14, almost 15 years, I've seen people buy homes when they were at 8 and 9%. And now we're seeing people buy equally amount of homes, at 4%. And take advantage of it if you can.
So have you seen any prognostications on what interest rates might be at the end of 2016?
It's hard because I wouldn't have forecasted them being where they are right now either. But, we are in an election year.
That's why I think it's not going to change
and so that being said, the market in every election year has maintained stability because guess what? No one wants to move anything. They won't have anything to argue on that pendulum, whether you be a Democrat or a Republican or an independent. So with that being said, I think we're going to have a stability for 2016. I think after we determine who our new leaders are, we'll see some changes in 2017.
Yeah, well, we've talked about it last week, too. The federal government is basically addicted to the current low interest rates. We can't afford to service our debt at historically normal interest rates. So it's
a really good point.
But speaking of debt, though, one of the things that we saw is that household debt service, the percentage of individuals maintaining debt. You mentioned millennials being responsible. We're at an all-time low in regards to the percentage of household disposable income as far as debt to income. They've got more income to spend nowadays than ever before and less debt as a result of our all-time high of 2008.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm less inclined, being a boomer and being older, I'm less inclined to get into debt. I don't like, any kind of debt really. So I think that's true. And I think the millennials are a little bit maybe smarter. We were the acquisition generation, acquire this, acquire that. But we got a generation coming that they're being a little, I think, smarter about what they're putting their money and time into and things like that. So anyway, let's kind of take a poll of here. Crystal, tell us what you think of your 2016 is going to look like.
Well, I can honestly say that my first quarter of 2016 is probably my strongest quarter ever right now of the closings I already have lined up. The great rates out right now, I think people should really take advantage of that because, like you said, it's not going to stay there forever. It can get you more home and a home that you want more. With that rate, is going to keep that P&I down a lot. So I think it's going to be a good year. I really do.
So when's a good time to put your house on the market? That's a softball.
You know what?
question.
It really depends on what area of the town you live in. If you live in master planned communities or on the outskirts, like in Cinco Ranch and Katy, I mean, our market's always good. But if you start at the end of the spring, like April 1st or right after spring break, that's primo for people getting ready to move into the neighborhood. And from April to the beginning of August, it's great out there in the Cinco Ranch area, Katy area.
Awesome. Claudia, talk about your 2016 a little.
Well, 2016, I started filling my pipeline in 2015. So just these first quarter alone, I have a lot of stuff lined up. So I'm going to do fantastic. But I don't ever take a break. You know, there's no Christmas break, there's no summer break. You know, I'm always working. I'm always thinking of the future because, you know, eventually they all close, and you need to make sure that your pipeline's still full for the next few months. So,
Well, of course, you guys get great training from the Keller Williams training and things like that. They teach you how to, make sure that you always stay consistent rather than go up and down.
Yeah. Well, I need to keep milk on the table. You know that.
Yeah. Well, 6 kids. I mean, that's a basketball team and an alternate. So
Don't know how you do it with 6. I struggle with 2.
The hockey team, if you think about it, goalie and all.
Susan, same question.
Well, 2016 has already started out great. I have a lot of closings in January, and I've did an open house last weekend and saw a great pickup in the number of buyers that came out to it. I had 15 families come through my open house on Sunday, and so I see that buyers are starting to look now. During the holidays, slower time, but 15 families coming through open house. There's buyers out there. So, and another thing about the conference that we went to the other day, he said that there's a lot of A properties as far as residential leases, rental home, apartments and things. I think that's going to push people to see the affordability of buying a home in this area too. So I think 2016 is going to be great.
Well, that's encouraging.
I think you're absolutely right on that because rental rates have gone up a lot. And, because of that demand that we had. And so what we're going to end up seeing is they're maintaining those rates really high right now. And it's going to push people more into the market. By the way, I was right around the corner from your open house last Sunday. I was over on West Terra Parkway, and I saw your signs right there. And I was about to jump in there, but then I had something else to do. So
he was going 89 miles an hour. So
exactly. I couldn't make the turn in time, unfortunately. but I did
sharp
see
right.
It, yeah, I did.
Eagle eye.
Yeah, old eagle eye over there, right? So. Well, we are coming up against the end of the show, and I want everybody to give one last chance of how we can reach you. Crystal, we'll start off with you. One more time, how can we reach you, please?
You can reach me on my cell at 713-962-0910 or my email, Crystal, Northcutt with 2 T's, at kw.com.
Claudia, how about you?
My number is 832-377-9256. My email is Claudia at Claudia J. Price. My website is therightpricematters.com.
Therightpricematters.com. I love that. Susan?
My website is sellinghomesinkaty.com, and my telephone number is 713-294-1686. You can reach me there anytime.
And you can always catch these great ladies or any replay you want to hear on our Facebook.com website, Real Estate Rat Pack, or on our website, realestateratpack.com. Well, this show will be back out early part of next week as Mr. Good Hair will make sure that happens. We like to leave it always with a good quote, and today is no difference. It is life is 10% what happens to us and 90% of how we react to it. And I think it's very appropriate for what we talked about. Ladies, it's a pleasure having you in the studio today. Wish you all the best of luck for 2016. I tell everybody, and we've talked about this before, I think 2016 is going to be absolutely great. If any indication that we have, one of the things that's going on is our 2016 to start off rocking hot just like y'all's. So everyone out there looking at buying or selling, now's the time to do
it now.
Right.
Until next time, we are out.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Rat Pack. The Real Estate Rat Pack is ready to answer your toughest questions. So tune in to the really big